Thank you very much, Tom. And on behalf of the Grand Prix Association, let me say how delighted we are to have you share with us in what is going to be a memorable weekend. This is really something special. 50 years.
Yep.
We started this event back in 1975. Here we are 50 years later.
No.
The event has grown. It's become one of the most prestigious venues on the schedule, second largest IndyCar race after the Indy 500.
Yep.
And while that was progressing, why, so was the city, the whole city. If you go back and look at the old photographs, some of the video, which was shot back then, why, you don't see much of what you see here today.
That's true.
In terms of the infrastructure of downtown Long Beach. Downtown has grown, Long Beach has grown, the Grand Prix has grown. And there's something to be said for that simultaneous action that's transpired over all these years. Every year we take a look and see who would be the best candidates for the Walk of Fame. And I got to thinking, this is our 50th, so we ought to be looking at something a little different. We were looking to see who we could honor in terms of epitomizing the growth of the city, along with what's transpired with the track and the race. And the obvious choice came up, and that was Beverly O'Neill, former mayor here, who was a 3-term mayor, the only one we've had here in this town, a huge supporter of the Grand Prix, and even more important, a really devoted individual to seeing what they could do in terms of increasing the living standards and the elements that are involved with the city. So as you probably know, Beverly's a little physically challenged right now. So I took the opportunity to call her daughter Teresa and asked her if she would ask her mother for permission to be inducted in this ceremony. And we were very delighted that when she came back and said, Mom would love to be a part of that, that really helped to make this something super special. And we're delighted that Teresa's here with us today, representing her mother, and she'll say some words in a little bit. But most important of all, Mayor O'Neill really met the challenge of the time when she took office. It was in the late 90s. The Navy was leaving town. Aircraft assembly up in Midtown was diminishing. The economy wasn't the greatest. And she came into office with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and energy. She had great political connections. She was the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, had almost a direct pipeline into the Clinton administration, which was really important because at that time the city was really looking for funding to offset the loss of revenue from these other reductions that were taking place in the city. So as a consequence of that, we saw some real significant development here in this town. Long Beach Town Center went into place. We have the Pike Shops, Aquarium of the Pacific, the development on Pine Avenue, and also the expansion of the convention center. And as you know, part of that has created the Beverly O'Neill Theater, which is really a great honor in terms of how much she supported the arts here in Long Beach. But Beverly was famous for her 3 T's and an R, tourism, trade, technology, and throwing some retail there. And we're going to make this city whole again. And she certainly did that. And we are very appreciative of what she's done in terms of making this whole city really something that people want to attend. People talk about, why do you want to go to Long Beach? Well, part of it is the racing, part of it is the entertainment, part of it is the energy that's generated around the event. But most important of all, you must be able to have a concrete reason for wanting to come to this city. And she and a lot of others have created that atmosphere so that this weekend, as was mentioned, we're looking to see if we do something around 194,000 plus, which would commemorate, obviously our 50th anniversary here. But to talk about Beverly O'Neill much more eloquently than I can, we're very delighted that Teresa has agreed to join us. And as she comes up, I would ask you to take a look at her attire, because it says everything you want to say about Beverly O'Neill when she used to come to our events. Teresa?